Hey everybody, welcome back to our Triad series, video number, I don't know anymore, we're getting pretty deep into this, but today we're going to be looking at a new way to figure out some reharm possibilities over chords, as well as some options over a minor chord using that method. So let's just jump into it. Alright, so if you recall, last time we checked out how to get some triads over a major 7 chord, and the possibilities of that by looking at the upper extensions of the chord. That's one way to find out what triads we can superimpose on top of our chords to make them sound more interesting, but let's look at another way, a way that has potential for a lot more possibilities. So, what we're going to do, we're going to have our standard root, C, because why not? So, we have our C, and we are going to go through every single triad on top of a C chord. Now, this is daunting, and it's kind of overwhelming, and I completely agree. So for that reason, we're going to make some parameters so that our options aren't so vague and vast. So our parameters are that we want a minor chord. So we need the minor third, and we're going to be looking for a natural fifth. If we get a flat fifth or a sharp fifth, we can maybe work with that depending, but we want that flat third. So we want it to have a minor tonality still. Okay, we're not gonna do anything crazy with, sharp 5, natural third, plus minor third, 13s and all that. So just looking for minors. So here we go. Starting with the C, and we're gonna begin with major triads. So if we look at a C major triad, obviously that's out because that gives us an E natural, and we want an E flat. So C natural is out. If we move up by a semitone, C sharp triad over a C, I'm going to voice it in a different way just so that we can keep the root. Doesn't sound like a minor to me, and if we analyze it, there is no E flat. In fact, we get an F, a C sharp or D flat, and A flat, so it's like, doesn't really, doesn't sound like minor at all. So let's keep going. So, D triad. So this one's interesting. We have a 9, a sharp 11, and a 6 or 13. When we think of the D triad notes in relation to C. That could work if we wanted some sort of like minor 6 sound with a sharp 11 or flat 5. Actually, that would be more of a diminished with a natural 9 on top. So that works. But again, we got a flat 5 there. We were kind of looking for the natural 5. We get to E flat next over C. And check that out. We got a flat third. We have the 5th, natural 5th, and we also have the flat 7. So if we take the notes of an E flat triad, put it over a C, we get basically a C minor 7 chord. So I won't bore you going through every other triad, but you would continue that process until you find which ones are viable. So check this out. I'll do the work for you for this one just so you can see. Now that we've gone through all the major triads, let's do the same thing with minor. So we're going to start with a C minor. Of course that's going to work over a C. It's just going to give us our basic C minor triad. C sharp minor. No, because right away we have an E natural. D minor. Could be. We have a 11, a 9, and a 13. So if we stick an E flat in there somewhere just to kind of bring out that minor sound a little bit more. Let's see if we can find a voicing. Here we go. Pretty cool. So that would be a kind of like a minor 13 with the 11 in it. Quite dense, but it works. Keep going, we get E flat minor. We got a flat 5. This would be a minor 7 flat 5 chord, so if you want that minor 7 flat 5 sound, you could use it. E minor, no, because we already know that makes a C major 7 chord, so that's going to be skipped, and so on until we get through all of the triads. And again, I'll do the work for you. So here they are. Here are the ones that work over a minor chord. So this process can be continued with a diminished triad, augmented triad, and a sus triad if you want. And there are some very cool options. So, you know what, I'm just going to put out all the lists here, and I'm only going to put the ones that work. So let's just delete the ones that make no sense when we're trying to create a minor tonality. Of course, if you wanted to change the parameters that we set in the beginning, if you're looking for a major chord or maybe a diminished sound or a dominant 7 sound, you can change that, and then you would choose different results from our ginormous list here. But for today we're doing minor. So as we can see, we got a lot of options, and you might be wondering, what in the world am I supposed to do with all of these choices? Well, you pick one to start with. Maybe, hopefully you've gone through them on your own. I hope you have. And find one that you like how it sounds. So one that speaks to you and one that you think you can use. So for example, let's say you wanted to start replacing minor 7 chords in 2-5-1s to make them sound a little bit more colorful and open up some more voice leading options. There are a couple of options we could do. If you want the 9th in the chord, you could do a G minor chord over C. And that's going to have a C minor 9 sound. Or you could go further and you could do a B flat over the C. And that's going to create that minor 11 sound with the 9 as well. So let's pick B flat. And we're just going to find different ways to voice a B flat triad over a C. Okay, this might create more of a suspended sound because we actually have no 3rd. And we have that 4th in there. But let's just try it anyway for a little bit, see what we like. So looking for B flat triads over C. Okay, there's one. Do something up here. Could do, let's maybe make a nice big open triad. Okay, so I kind of like that one actually. That's pretty nice. But I'm still kind of wanting more of a minor sound because we have no 3rd. So something we can do is actually replace the root now with the 3rd. So we're prioritizing notes. We're not just going to continue adding notes because then we're just going to get dense, impractical voicings that just cover too much ground. So that sounds nice, and we have to remember that C, I'll hum it, is our reference point. And then all of a sudden we're using 4 notes, but we have all this color. Because the 4 notes we're using, if we analyze them against a C, are the flat 3rd, the 9, the flat 7, and the 11. So if you ever wondered how in the world do all these people know how to do these crazy upper structure voicings and get all these shapes that seem infinite, it's because they just have the concept. We can use a B flat triad over any C minor. Or another way to think of it, if you want to start working it into different keys, is the major triad from the flat 7. So again, that's the flat 7 would be B flat in the key of C, and we're going to build a major triad off of that. And we can stick the root or another chord tone underneath to give it context, right? Because we're using these triads now in new situations, in new contexts. So this is how you can start to discover new sounds. Let's try this one. That's pretty nice. It might be easier like this. And you might also discover that some of these chord shapes can be used for different purposes. For example, this one that I kind of like here with the B flat triad over E flat, if we think of it as C, yeah, it's a C minor 11. There it is. But it also could be an E flat major 7 with the 9. So this is where it gets crazy, because all of a sudden all these options are open to us just by going through every triad and seeing how it can relate to the root. Okay, so we can do this dominant chords, diminished chords, altered dominant chords if you want some more not so obvious dominant 7 sounds. We can do it with minor 7 or minor chords like we did, and we can also do it with major 7 rather than just going into the upper structures, and we find many more possibilities. It's a lot of work, but like I said, you want to pick 1 or 2 and start working those in. So in our next video, I'm going to pick something to take over dominant structures, something to take over minor 7 structures, and something to take over our major 7 structures. And we are going to try to make some sort of cool voice leading or comping or something over a tune that we already know. That way you can see how it's applied in some sort of context or scenario that would actually be useful when you're playing. So I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully it's not too much. If it is, take it step by step. This is stuff that I am definitely not even close to being finished exploring myself. So, you know, it can take a lifetime. But that's the fun of it. So we'll see you in the next one. And like I said, we're almost done. Maybe 1 or 2 more videos here to wrap up. And I think you'll have a lifetime of work for triads. Okay. See you later.